Real preparedness saves lives, especially when bad things happen. Nonsense, entertainment, fun things you see in movies, YouTube videos very often, unfortunately, should not be confused with actual real-world preparedness. And real-world preparedness is what I do here in the Modern Survivalist. Guys, welcome to the channel. And as always, if by the end of the video you think you learned something, you have a newfound appreciation for what I do here, do subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell button, share with other people through the different networks and social things that you have. And you have my books as well: Street Survival Skills, Surviving the Economic Collapse, Bugging Out and Relocating. What am I talking about here? Well, we see things happen in different parts of the world, and we are reminded yet again about the massive, enormous, huge difference between having fun, fooling around, role-playing a little bit in fantasy worlds, and what you really need to do so as to survive when shit happens. There is a massive difference, right? And unfortunately, you see that all the time. It's not just, yes, I get it. The Walking Dead is fun. I mean, it was fun until it started to suck. But yeah, I see that too. I like being entertained as well. And I love the apocalypse stuff in movies and video games. I play them all the time, right? Well, not all the time. I really don't have all that much time. And I do have a channel about video games called Gem Reviews. If you want to follow me there, doing mostly space video games lately. But you get what I mean. It is fun, but you should not base your actual real-world preparedness and survival on that. How many videos about bugging out with this gun or this other one? No, but for the end of the world, I will need this. For the end, well, you know what? You have situations like what you saw in Florida kind of recently, just a few weeks ago. You see what's happening in Spain right now, people evacuating, mudslides, water just washing away everything. Who the hell is fighting zombies? Who the hell is worrying about what my bug-out rifle? No. It is very unlikely. It is tremendously unlikely that in the middle of a flash flood or a giant storm, you'll be shooting it out with the neighbors. That is not realistic. What's realistic is losing all of your stuff. You know what's realistic? Thinking that you're already bugged out because you're living out in the mountains and you're living in the forest, and all of a sudden there's a fire. All of a sudden there's a storm, there's a flood, and half the mountain is washed away along with everything you owned in your bug out location, and you lost all your shit. And you're sitting there with no plan because you already bugged out, and then you remember, oh right, that dude, that Argentine guy was telling me that I'm a fucking dumbass for doing this. Well, maybe he was right, wasn't he? Yes, I was. Yes, you're not damn Denzel Washington walking across a wasteland blind, carrying your fucking Bible that Gary Oldman wants to steal from you, right? There's a massive difference. This is real preparedness, right? Do I need that thing? Probably for self-defense, probably for home defense, especially in certain parts of the world. And there's a good chance these days that you live there because the world is moving as woke Stephen King, before he went completely nuts and actually wrote good books, said in The Dark Tower, the world has moved. And boy, has the world moved. More and more, obviously so. Yes, you'll probably need that. That's actually a great option. Semi-automatic shotgun, yeah, you'll be okay with that in terms of defending your home. Now, if I'm evacuating, do I fight what? Fucking Russians? The Koreans? Well, maybe if you're in Ukraine, you probably will see a Korean dropping by soon in your neighborhood. So yeah, maybe that's the thing you need. And maybe this is not the gun I want for that. Maybe I want something that's more mil-spec based. But you get my point. If you're just evacuating because of natural disasters, because of emergencies, you need to be serious about these things. What is my bug out bag? More important, what is my bug out plan? Where am I going? What am I taking? None of this is nearly as important as that or that over there. What am I talking about? Not this. No, the other things. How healthy are you? How strong are you? Little story, but I could not really move that one. The bigger one, there were like some of the exercises, I just couldn't do it. I was just not strong enough. You keep on doing it. You start with the lighter one. I think it's like 8 kilos, 16 kilos, 20, like 40 pounds or whatnot. Well, you little by little start progressing into getting better at shit, getting stronger. Yes, you can do that. It is amazing. But if you keep at it, you get better. You get stronger. You can walk more distance. You can lose weight. You can do better at whatever you want to dedicate your time and effort to. Do that. That's going to be a lot more helpful than all of the crap you just buy online. And yeah, I realize that I sell stuff online as well. And that's great. These are things that you may end up needing. You know, the stuff that you have in a bug out bag. Is that important? For sure. The stuff that I sell with my books, the kind of thing I try to share with you guys and knowledge I acquire over. Yes, I think that's super important. That's why I do it. That's why I feel super comfortable about recommending it all the time. Yes, I know for a fact it's a huge difference between that and some of the bullshit you see that is often presented as, yeah, for the end of the world. No, there's no the end of the world. The world is what it is right now. It sucks. It's fucked up as it is, and it's getting worse. But that's the world you need to be preparing for. Not the fantasy of, yeah, because when this and that happens, I'll be the super Chad of the wasteland. No, you will not. You won't even be around because you didn't take care of that. You didn't take care of that. You didn't take care of that. I'm tapping on the side of my head. You didn't take care of the things that are important, and you wasted your time bullshitting around, which is fine. You know, do whatever you want. But if you want to do this for real, if you want to be serious about being prepared, this is the kind of thing that you do. And by this, I mean an objective, realistic analysis of your needs. The things that will happen in life, the things that may happen in life, and the things that are very unlikely but still could happen in life as well. When you have that sorted out, you realize what your priorities are. When you have that sorted out and you start analyzing, okay, what if I have to bug out? Well, I will never have to bug out. I already live in Oregon in a cabin in the forest. But wait a minute, that guy said that bugging out is not about where I am. Bugging out is about accepting that there may be one day in which I have no option but to leave for whatever reason that may be. If I don't have that plan, I don't have a bug out plan. You cannot just preemptively do it in the same way you cannot preemptively do a ton of other things because they simply will happen no matter what, right? Eventually, things will happen. And if you don't have that already sorted out so as to what to do when that happens, then you'll have no plan. And that's the position in which you don't want to be in. So I understand that. Okay, what is it that I have to? Okay, where would I go? If I cannot stay here, if I cannot stay in my home, if I cannot stay in my little apartment in fucking San Francisco, if I cannot stay in my cabin in Alaska, where I think that I already bugged out too, where would I go? Well, you need different plans. This is the kind of thing that I explain in my books. You need something, a potential place to go that's a little bit more nearby, hopefully within the same community, the same neighborhood, because maybe it's more isolated. Maybe it's just your house that just burned down, dude. Maybe that's what happened, right? Maybe it's a flood that only hit your street, and your buddy or your brother or your best friend just a few hundred meters up the street is doing fine, and you can stay with him. Is that something you considered already? Is that something you planned ahead of time? Is that something that you hopefully talked with your friend? Hey, look, if this happens, do you have my back? Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, great. A plan for going elsewhere, a plan of getting out of the city entirely, getting even out of the country. Again, the kind of thing that I talk about all the time here in the channel and in the books as well. What about my bug out bag? What do I need, like a battle loadout? For fuck's sake, how many videos about chest rigs and magazines? Who are you fighting? Who are you going against in combat? What is it? Blue helmets? Korea? Fucking Russians? UN? Who is it? Who is it that you're so worried about going into active war against? Man, we're probably already there. If that's what you want to roll with, we're already in World War III. It is not what you thought it would be. It was not what most of us thought it would be, but it's still happening in its own way. It's happening in different fronts. It's happening in different places. And the battle is everywhere. It's for the most important thing that we have. It's for all of us, for all of our future. The future of all of us. And it is a lot more complex, a lot less fun than we hoped it would be. No, there's not going to be super cool movies made about this. Maybe in a few decades, we will see something. But no, it's not the kind of thing you usually see Hollywood movies about, but it's happening nonetheless. And it's all about getting you into this idea of surrendering and complying and basically giving up and accepting what's going on as if it's normal when it's actually not. Just shut up, Close your mouth. Don't even post online because you get arrested depending on where you are. And depending on where you are, that is going to be both UK and US, unfortunately so. And the world is kind of going to shit. But if you're looking at this, where would I go? What are my threats? What are the situations I may find myself in? If I'm in and there's basics that apply to all of it, but the priorities, this may be something I got more into in Bugging Out and Relocating, that book over there, in terms of if I have to leave in 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, it's not all the same. If I'm leaving from Venezuela, from Argentina, and have a lot more time because it's a slow process that you're looking at. If it's if I'm in Ukraine and it's about to be bombed by fucking Russians, maybe I have a couple of days to leave. We saw that happen. If you were paying attention, you saw it on the news. You need to be healthy. You need to be smart. You need to have skills, to have the education to find a work elsewhere in other parts of the world. How many languages do you speak? That's simple. Yes, that's important. How fit are you? That's important too. Can you move around? Can you do physical labor if it comes down to that or not? How healthy are you physically and mentally? The most important bag is a tiny one right there. Your VIP bag, your documents, your VIP bag because it's your very important papers bag, your documents, the amount of money that you have, the amount of cash that you have, the assets that you have already allocated elsewhere. Have you diversified? Do you have insurance for your house? Does it cover what's likely to happen to you? Well, if not, maybe you shouldn't even be there. These are all things you need to sort out right now. Do you have anything you want to... If everything goes to hell, if you lose the house to fire, floods, storms, earthquakes, what is it that you would like to save from it? Well, probably keep it there. Your VIP, do you have a good amount of cash for a rainy day? Literally, maybe so. If banks are not working, if cash is the only thing that runs, do you have not only a second language, do you have a second passport? Sweetheart, do you have that? Did you bother getting that when I told you 1,000 times over so many years to get that if you can? Oh, hey, you know what? Don't do it. Don't send me a fucking email asking me if you should. Just go and do it. You know what? I have my uncle that told me that he got Italian citizenship because it turns out that my grandpa comes from the old world, but I don't want to be like anti-patriotic crap. So should I get... Yes, you fucking dumb... Yes, get it. It is maybe the most important thing you could possibly do, not only for yourself, for generations that you won't even... When you're dust, that document may end up saving your entire bloodline's life. You just don't know. It's not just... I'm not just assuming things. I know things. I've seen these things happen. There's thousands of stories like this of people that had the option because someone else did something that allowed that. Open that door for someone else. Be that guy. Don't be the guy that did not do something you could easily do by spending a few hours and a few bucks getting some documents in order and getting this thing done. Do it now. And that may end up making a huge difference for someone down there or for you. We are in very unstable times, guys, in case you haven't figured this out already. We just don't know what's going to happen. We have no clue. I mean, I'm not even talking about the elections. I'm talking about the entire world shifting in ways that you kind of saw it coming. So yeah, it's not as if you're completely caught by surprise, but it has accelerated into ways that you go like, God, so it's not really a conspiracy theory, is it? No, it's not. When everything aligns in the same way, there's no conspiracy of any kind. It is a plan, and it is in movement. It's happening right now. You are going to be enslaved even more than you were before. All of us. You're going to lose more rights. You're going to lose more money. You will become poor. Oh, I'm doing great. Well, fantastic for you. The enormous majority of the world, especially in the civilized first world kind of countries, the middle class is slowly shrinking. If you still believe the bullshit that you're being fed all the time, if you think that inflation is 5%, I mean, what do you want from me? What do you want? You want me to rattle your head and just open your skull and put shit? No, you have to do this on yourself. No, you need to understand when you're being lied to and you're being manipulated. The perfect example here with the recent storms in US and Spain and so on. If you do things correctly, if you prepare for real, you will be ready for these things. The most important thing, your documents, passports, papers, money, accounts, insurance, all of those things are the money you have, the precious metals that you have. How many times have I told you, don't focus only on this stuff. This is always nice. This is great to have, but this is heavy. If all I can carry is that, I would rather have a lot of this in gold instead, which is a lot lighter. Oh, what a big problem you have. So much gold and silver. Well, really, but if you've been doing this for a while, you probably have a decent amount, and it's probably not even going to fit in there. And it's probably not only not going to fit in there, it's going to be heavy. You want things to be light. And trust me, it's not just for storms and evacuations. It's about even moving from the entire damn country, which I have done. Right? I've done these things. That's what I write about, because I've done it. So I know how these things work. You want to have that sorted out already. Money, emergency cash, precious metals, documents, USB drive with all of those things. In a USB drive that will actually not die because of a little water. You invest a little bit. I'll leave a link there below for something that it's working nicely now these days. But all of these things, little details like this. And this is not because of what's happening now. How many times? This is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. You don't have just, how many bug-out bags do you see with 10 magazines and not a fucking change of clothes? Nothing. No underwear, no socks. Do you have any idea how much things suck when you're completely soaking wet? You lost everything in your world, and only this is the only thing you have. At least you have a dry set of clothes to change into. This will change depending on where you are. If you're living in the Ecuador line, sure, very tropical, you will probably need very little in terms of clothing. If you're living in freaking Canada, maybe that bag is going to be half of it clothing, because if I have to evacuate, my main priority is not freezing to death while I bug out, right? So you need to adjust things. Ideally, everything in there can just be fine if it goes underwater. If you drop the entire bug-out bag into a river or a lake and you pick it up, it should all work. Nothing should be done. And the same goes for that. If you have your cash in there, put it in a little Ziploc bag. You don't want money to get wet. It's going to suck if all of that gets wet. These are cents for 100 of these things. Buy these things, put the money in these things, and it's going to be a lot more secure if it gets wet, which it probably will. There's a very good chance of that, depending on the scenario that you're facing. These are all tiny little details that make a massive difference. This is the difference between realistic survival and preparedness and just fantasy bullshit, screwing around and being entertained by yet another YouTube video. Be real about it. I like being entertained as well. I love that. But I also like doing survival and preparedness for real. And that's the massive difference. That's what this video is about. See you later, guys. Take care.